Hey all, I wanted to take a minute and kind of go through how I head point free solo routes and sort of explain my approach and why I do it. First off, why I do it is it's another skill to master other than just the physical realm. Like when you're trying to climb a 514, it's largely in the physical domain. Soloing is very much a mental process. Like I flashed this 512A, but I didn't feel like I was ready to solo it until I'd done about 50 top rope laps on it. What you're looking at here is me doing some top rope laps. I have a new daughter at home that's about 9 months old and a wife whom I really enjoy her company. I have no interest in dying, but I do have an interest in pushing myself mentally and physically. And so one of the rules that I came up with, if I want to free solo something, I have to be able to climb it 10 times in one day without falling or making any mistakes. And in this, it took me about 50 tries, 5 days to get to that. I never fell on it once throughout the 50 tries, but I did periodically fumble a foot move or a hand movement or a bump, and I wanted to be able to climb it flawlessly. So what you're looking at here is the final go when I gave it a solo. I chose to wear a helmet because I feel like a fall from the first half is survivable, but like it would be super traumatic, and in the event I were to survive that, I'm not interested in being a couch potato. Anyway, what you're looking at here is kind of like the beginning kind of sequence, and hopefully you'll notice the work I put into it. Each move is really fluid and precise. There's almost no wasted motion. Something that bothers me about climbers is we have this low bar of entry. We say that you've sent a route when you finish it. It doesn't matter how well you finished it. You could have barely clawed your way to the end, but if you did it, you did it. Whereas like in surfing, it's not what you did, but it's how you do it. Or in skateboarding, it's like how good can you make an ollie look? It's not just can you ollie. And what I enjoy is taking a 512 and making it so easy and so perfect through refining the movement that it feels like 5.8. And this thing felt like 5.8. You just saw me pull the crux right there. What went through my head at that exact moment was, holy shit, I feel weightless. And that is because the rope, when I'm top roping, actually gets in my way a lot and makes it harder. This move here, I cut my feet because the foothold kept crumbling when I was rehearsing the route, and so I decided to do it without the foothold because I would rather have my feet off and know that they're off than wait a foothold and have it possibly hold or possibly not hold. To me, when I'm soloing, it's not a matter of making the route as easy as possible, it's making the route as predictable and repeatable as possible. So I'd rather do a harder move that I can do 10 times in a row than an easier move that if I put my foot in the wrong way, it feels difficult, if that makes sense. Anyway, once I roll over the top, all the work becomes worthwhile, and I get a lot of a sense of satisfaction from being able to complete a route like that. Just that like kind of dialing in, making it perfect. And you know, just to kind of reiterate, I'm not out there like trying to I'm not an adventure junkie. I'm not like a adrenaline guy. I like actually my main goal is to not be scared when I'm out there. And if I'm scared, I think a larger problem has occurred. And so what I really enjoy, and I'm going to steal Tommy Caldwell's words here, is taking something that's dangerous and making it safe through ability or through strategy. And you know, I just think it's not something observed by people. They see you solo something and they go, "That's fucking crazy. Why would you do that? That's reckless." But they don't see the work that I do to make sure that I've taken as many risks out of it as possible. Now, obviously, I don't want to take all the risks out of it because then to me it no longer has value. Um, I could just top rope the route, but there's no risk in there. What the risk does for me is it says something more profound. It's kind of like you can say you love a person and you'll be there for them, but you're not willing to marry that person or live with them. It's sort of like they might be hollow words. It's like when you get married, you're making this announcement to people that you're going to be a team and that you're going to back each other up, and there's some skin in the game, you know, like you're going to have to get a fucking divorce if you break up. What I love about soloing is like you go up to some kid at the gym, right? And the kid says, "I can climb that route." And you go, "Okay." climb it, take the rope off. And they go, oh, well, I'm not going to do that. I could slip. And you're like, well, 2 seconds ago you said uh, that you could climb it. So you can either climb it or you can't. And maybe what they meant to say is I can probably climb it. And what I love about free soloing is we remove that notion of it being probably, and I have to get to a point where I say, absolutely, I can climb this route or I can't. Now, I know there's a percentage of you, and people love pointing this out, like, you can't know, you can't control. And like I said earlier, I totally understand that. And that's part of what's in this for me is laying something on the line and taking a risk. Um, I know that a hold could break or I could just slip. I mean, frankly, you could just have a seizure while climbing, right? Like people just have random onset seizures, but that could also happen while you're driving on the highway. Um, you know, my dad died of a stroke in the middle of the night with no prior symptoms, just woke up, had a headache, died. And, that's a risk. We have that risk all the time, and I think that what's interesting about climbing is that at least that risk is very obvious to you. People love to say, you're like, that's stupid. You're an idiot. You know you could die doing that? And you're like, yeah, no, it fucking slipped my mind. I didn't notice I could die on it. Like when you're hanging up there, every fiber in your body says like, this is dangerous. There's no illusion to it. People love to say, you know, you think you're invincible and whatever. I'm like, you know what? Go dangle off the side of a cliff and tell me if you feel invincible. Um, in fact, it's the closest I feel um, to risk. I like really feel that tangible fear in there, and that's what makes it relevant for me in this like life of comfort and TVs and fucking cereal aisles with 5,000 boxes of cereal and like everything is easy and whatnot. It's really nice to do something that places us back in what I feel like the caveman like staring down a tiger would feel like. To really be in the game, in the arena, taking part in this. Anyway, I just wanted to talk you through what I'm doing here, and hopefully you get a little insight into head pointing and why I free solo. Hey, thanks a lot.